All right. Peace, power, and love, as always, in greeting. And if you're liking the content, as usual, give them thumbs up. If you're liking the content, subscribe, share, and appreciate all of those who have subscribed, who do support. Tell a friend. Like I say, I'm just a normal, ordinary. I'm not no superstar. I'm not no entertainer. I'm just a concerned brother who wants to see us win for a change as opposed to what we normally do. Um, I'd like to also welcome my ActivateMedia.org family out of Boston, Mass, who gets this broadcast replayed on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you missed this broadcast, you can always tune in on Fridays at activatemedia.org. And shout out to Patrick Wilson for bringing me on board on his platform. Been doing that now for about a couple of years now. So that was also just another blessing and another way, another outlet, another way to reach the people. And I'm here to make you think. I'm here to make you use your mind. Uh, Also, I'm here to try to tap into your spirit to make you think different, do different. Because we, as black people in America, you're going to say it, throw it in right now in the beginning. We need each other here. Uh, we don't have allies, and we divide ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about is our lack of allies and how we divide ourselves with internal competition. Black man versus the black man, black woman versus the black woman, black man versus the black woman. We got colorism, religion divides us, young versus old divides us, rich versus poor divides us. And if you really think back, that's the same slave mentality that our ancestors had hundreds of years ago. And it's still effectively working in order to keep us divided. And the whole divide and conquer tactic was never directed at anyone except for us in order to keep us at odds with each other, and not only in at odds with each other, but to keep us reliant upon white America to do what we basically can do for ourselves. And I say this all the time, we sitting around begging this country, begging these different administrations that set up shop in that White House to do for us what we can do for ourselves. And like I've said several times, it's not that we are not owed reparations, because I truly believe, yeah, that we are owed reparations. This whole country was built on our backs. So yes, I do feel that we deserve reparations, but in the same breath, I don't believe in begging. I don't believe in begging for anything. I'm a proud person, and a lot of times I do without before I will ask for help. Uh, may not always be the best thing to do, but that's just my character. I prefer to try to get it done myself as opposed to having someone to help me and then hold that over my head like America does us. And truth be told, America has never helped us. It has said it would. It has claimed that it has, but America has been nothing but detrimental to us as a race, as an ethnicity of people. and they collectively work to keep us divided. And then, like I say, we participate in this division of ourselves. We keep perpetuating to the point where they don't even have to act anymore. They don't have to do anything to keep us at odds with each other. All they got to do now is sit back and watch because we do such a good job at it. And I'll start, black man versus the black woman. And I did I covered the black family. I did a 3-part series on the black family. And, in my research, like I said, I found that the black man and the black woman were more harmonious and more connected in the past than we are now. Seems to me that gaining our independence also led us to ignoring the fact that we are powerful together, and not only that, that we need to be together. And don't get me wrong, I don't knock anybody for their choice of partners, but I think that the black man was specifically made for the black woman, and the black woman was specifically made for the black man. There should be no mixing. But we live in today's society, and so many things are going on now that the mixing is very prevalent within society. I am wanting the black man and the black woman to realize our power exists through each other. We have to be each other's leaning block, leaning post. So many times, the black man and the black woman both are so stressed mentally just trying to survive in a society that constantly shows us the bottom side of his foot. A society that consistently keeps its thumb in our throat. And it's hard to try to find peace in such a chaotic society. But that's when we really have to come together. And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I do respect my black women. Period, point blank. There's no other woman out here for me other than a black woman. I don't look to, in my single days, I have never looked at, well, I'm going to take that back. I slipped in the past and thought something was better across the fence than it was on my side of the fence. But then I quickly realized what was meant for me and what was truly meant to be and what was not meant for me. It's about being comfortable with who you're with. And I would rather spend my time with somebody who can relate to me as opposed to having to explain to a person how I feel and why this is not correct and so on and such. Not only that, just the confusion of, let's say, an argument when people's emotions run high and name calling may happen, and then the scenario from that. So I'm saying black men and black women really need to put aside our differences, and really we don't have any differences. We create differences, and we allow society to dictate. And let's just be real about it. This society has always given our black women options. Not only that, this system has no problem providing for our black women. And that's done for one reason and one reason only: to separate them from us. You remove the black man, you remove the muscle, you remove the the leadership, you remove the protection. And then that leaves the woman and children vulnerable to whatever society chooses. I, in covering the black family, I spoke about systematic things that were done to separate us: housing, child support. And there were so many other things. There was actually a no man in the house law, and this was done, during the housing, where they would send people over to check on these black women who were housed by the government, uh, to see if there was any uh, male presence in the home. They would frequently stop by to do checks to see if there were any men clothing, shoes, uh, any existence of a male presence in the home, and then that would disqualify, uh, you know, those black women from assistance from the government. And the thing about it is, black men, in reading and doing my research, black men have always worked, you know, and the wages were so low that it was a black man could work his 40-hour week but still could not support his family. And so in most cases, and this is sad to say, but in most cases, even though that man may love his wife, love his children, sometimes I read and doing my research, black men would leave their home so that the black woman and the black child or children could get support and maintain their house. And this is sad when you really think about it, because I know a lot of brothers, and all of them that I know are actively involved in their children's lives. And that's a misconception that society has placed on us in particular. And then if you do your research, research even shows that black men participate in their children's lives more than any other ethnicity. Look it up. I'm not just saying that. Also, in this scenario, you have the government replacing the father, not only replacing, but removing. And in doing this, that in itself completely collapses the black family, because prior to those systematic things happening, black people had the highest marriage rate out of any ethnicity. And also there were percentage wise more two-parent uh, two-parent homes within the black community than there is now. So the system actually stepped in and did a job on the black family, used money and economics, because that's their power. So they used money and economics to break up the black family, to cause rips in the black family. And then that still continues today. And like I was saying, this system has always managed to find a way to take care of the black woman, and they do that in order to keep the black man irrelevant in the family. And that still works to this day. And then you have this government still to this day that does more for the black woman than it does for the black man. And then you have I will say, the facade of support from the system that gives black women an arrogance. And I'm not saying all black women, but let's just be truthful. Some black women have an arrogance of feeling that they are better than their male counterparts. And this happens in no other ethnicity except for ours. This system didn't work to break up white families. This system didn't work to break up Asian families. This system didn't work to break up Hispanic families and any other ethnicity of people. But it worked feverishly to break up and separate the black man from the black woman, because they know that together we are powerful, and they know too for a fact that black men are nothing close to what they portray us to be. And then they do that in order to support their rhetoric. And that's it, simple and plain. They do what they do to support their rhetoric, and they can create situations where the black man, like, you just look at society today and how useless the black man seems to appear. And so I'm saying that to say this: black man, black women, black woman, we need each other. I'm gonna say it again. We are all we got, and we all we need. We, like I said, we've never needed anybody else. But if you look throughout history, people have always found a way to snatch us up and use us. They always have needed us, but we ain't never really needed nobody. We were fine without them, and and we can continue to be. We can even grow even more if we unify and truly look not just from the outside, but really start looking hard and get into the inside core of what this system has done to keep us separated and keep us at odds with one another. And there's a reason for that, because they know that we are a more social type people, and they know too that the black man, has the capability to care, raise, nourish, and protect the family, but they take away the opportunities for us to be able to do that. And then in doing that, they can label us as the thugs, the violent ones, the animals, the beasts that they, would like us to be. But overall, the percentage of black men, 80, I'd even, go so far as to say 90% of us are nothing like this system, portrays us to be. Uh, Black man, black woman, we've got to learn how to work together. We've got to learn how to work in unison, as a unit. Unit, uni, meaning one, you and I. And uh, that's about it. We've really just gotta focus on doing what's right. And in doing that, focusing on doing what's right, problems will be eliminated effortlessly. As long as you're doing the right thing, problems become non-existent. So that's what we really have got to focus on: rebranding ourselves and refocusing on what really matters, and having a black man and a black woman living in unison gives our children something to uh, look up to, gives our children something to aspire for. And, you know, that's another thing that, keeping us separate, it affects our children as well, you know, because in most cases, the black man and the black woman is at each other's throat, and the child is going to pick a side. And we don't need our children growing up hating the black woman. We don't need our children growing up hating the black man because of something that was systematically done to cause us to be in a worse condition than most. And then we have the problem of colorism, light skin versus dark skin, and all that comes with that. And that is something that was definitely put in place during the slavery days when you had the little mulatto kids where master was sneaking out to the slave quarters, laying up with these black women, making babies with these black women. And then you have the light skinned mulatto babies who are looked at differently than your dark skinned babies. And then when you grow up in a society that puts more emphasis on light skin than dark skin, well, as a black man and a black woman, you begin to put more emphasis on light skin and dark skin. There is no difference. There is no difference. Those black mulatto slave children that massa uh, laid up and made didn't get treated any better. They were, because as the saying went in those days, if you have one drop of black blood, you were considered black. Period. So these uh, insidious, evil, demonic slave masters making these babies, laying up, enjoying themselves, raping and taking, making babies, and then mistreating them, their own blood. And this is why I say the devil don't love nobody. He don't even love himself. And in so many instances during slavery days, those little mulatto babies that were made suffered the same fate as the dark skinned babies. Master didn't recognize those children as his own. So that's something that we definitely should erase from our memories, because it doesn't make any difference whether you are the lightest of light skin or the darkest of dark skin. In America, you're still black. You're still a nigger. To just be real about it. So this is something, like I say, definitely that needs to be removed, especially in today's society. We got to realize that we are brothers and sisters. We need to be working together to change the condition, to change the narrative and the rhetoric that causes this division. Period. Point blank. And colorism has been a problem that should be non-existent today. We should be smart enough to know now in today's society that it doesn't make any difference what color your skin is, as long as you are affiliated or connected to blackness, you're not accepted. No matter how light or dark you are. Period. If your lips have a certain thickness, or your nose has a certain fullness, your hair has a certain texture, you can be mixed all you want to. They're gonna look at you. They're gonna look at you as me. Just another black man, another black person, another black man, another black woman. No special treatment at all. And see, then you had those of us with that were living within those times that sometimes would try to pass as white just so that they could get better treatment. So there are a lot of things, and I say that, and my granddad, my great granddad, whose father was white, and if you saw my great granddad, you think he was a white man because he had very fair skin, and his texture of hair was like ours, but had more coarsity, more coarseness to it. So you could look at him by his facial features and know that he was a black man. But if you looked at him and his skin tone, he looked every bit of a white man. And that's within my family. So, I mean, anybody can probably look within their family and somewhere along the line, back through and within throughout history, you will find that, there's some white in you too. In all of us, probably. In most of us. So we can't allow colorism to continue to divide us. Religion. I'm not even going to stay on religion long, because I think that in these days and times, we're all starting to have an understanding that religion is nothing more than a control mechanism. Uh, Religion is something to get people on one accord. And it's sad that, some of these uh, pimping pastors out here use religion for profit. Nothing more, nothing less. They're not really telling the truth about the Bible. They're not preaching truth. They're preaching money, sowing seeds. You can't get a preacher to preach out of Exodus. You can't get a preacher to preach out of Revelations. And you can't get these preachers to tell the truth about who we are. Ask a preacher what is Israel. Ask a preacher who is Edom and see what he tells you. See if he will lie to you or if he'll tell you the truth. Because if your preacher tells you that Israel is a country, he ain't the preacher that you need to be following. Period. And I'm not going into any further depth. Religion has always been used as a control mechanism because we are the chosen people. White society has placed these fake people over in Israel to try to atone for what they did for their transgressions against us. So they created their own Israel. But truth be told, Israel is Jacob. Edom is Esau. And one group of people the Most High loved, and the other group of people the Most High hated. He despised. So figure out for yourself which group of people that was. And then you will know why we're so hated, because of our connection. See, because we have a connection to the source without them. That's why I say we ain't never needed them. All we've ever needed was ourselves, and to get ourselves in order and in accordance to what we should be doing here. Because this belongs to us. It was given to, this belongs to us. This world, we've got to take it back from who controls it now. So that's really all I got to say about religion, because by now, as black men and black women, if we do not know who we are, you're still asleep. You really have no purpose here, and you're useless to your people if you don't know and understand who you truly are and who you're truly connected to. And I feel as that if our preachers and pastors would get in the pulpit and tell the truth about the matter of who we really are, our attitudes would change. And see, this is where I fault preachers, because these preachers have the ability to change minds. These preachers have the ability to change conditions. But the only condition they're trying to change is their own, by fattening their pockets instead of telling and preaching the truth of the matter to the people who they're over. And that's why we have such discombobulation within our communities, because there's only one Yah, but we got 400,001 religions. It's a control mechanism. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't subscribe to no organized religions. Muslim, Christianity, Pentecostal, Catholic, Catholicism, or whatever but I don't subscribe to any of that, because that's all used to control the masses. Read about the Council of Nicaea, when Christianity came into existence, and all that they did to make themselves connected to the source, when in all reality We know the lies, the little white lies they tell. We're the ones that are related and connected to the direct source. It's us whose identity they have tried to claim throughout history. Sit on religion, young versus the old. I'm now becoming an older guy. I'm now becoming what I guess you can call an elder, uh, as they call us, old school. And in growing older, I remember my youth. But the difference in our times, in our generation, is that we respected our elders. We didn't have to know them, we didn't have to like them, but when there was an elder present, he was given the utmost respect. And now we have a society, see, because we used to discipline our children. I was disciplined as a child. Didn't kill me. I'm still here. What discipline does, discipline makes you realize the mistakes that you made, and your ass is so hot on fire that you swear, and you're going to make the mistake again as a child, but you promise to yourself, I'm not going to never do that again. I don't want another one of these. But you're going to do something else. That's what children do. Children make mistakes. But see, in today's society, they've taken away the discipline. And even scripture, even the Most High tells us, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. And what that truly means is you spare the rod, your child gonna be out here running wild. And what do we have in today's society? We've got a generation of youth who are running wild, who no longer have the guidance that we were able to receive because they took that away. You know, they give these kids these 800 numbers to call about parental abuse. See, and the thing about it is, parental abuse, as they call it, is nothing more than parental discipline. Getting the respect, because my grandmother, in my life, my grandmother was divorced. And she had a little belt about yay wide, about yay thick, about 5 feet long. And I used to try to hide that belt. And I swear it's like she had a GPS on that belt. And wherever I would hide that belt, she would manage to find it. But we respected discipline. Discipline is and that's not, I used to think I was scared of my grandmother, which I was, but growing older, I realized that was respect. Because when my grandmother was present, I respected that. I respected the fact that she was there, she was looking, able to see me, and I did everything the right way because I didn't want my ass on fire. See, and what needs to happen in today's society, we need to set a whole lot of these kids' ass on fire. It don't kill them. It only makes them better people. See, and that's why I say we need to get back to our culture, back to our way of doing things, because when we were really enthralled in our culture and living our culture, even though we struggled, our communities were better. Our communities were safer. We didn't have kids killing kids like in today's society. You know, back then, yeah, we fist fight. Now somebody might have a pocket knife or something like that, but as far as guns being drawn, nah, that was not, no, that just didn't happen in my childhood. Now, I'm not going to say in my childhood that there were not shootings in my community, because yeah, this is America, a country built on violence. So violence is going to happen. Violence is accepted in America. But see, this is where we come in as parents and the older, more wiser. And see, what we've got to do Because I feel like people in my age group, the 50 somethings and the 60 somethings, the early 60 somethings, and the 40 somethings, even. Uh, I'll say from early 40 to, let's say, 60 years old, were some of the last generations to be raised in that village mentality, were some of the last generations to be raised with that disciplinary hand. And that makes a difference because discipline teaches you respect. See, when we was whooping ass in our communities, we didn't have to worry about these kids running to go pick up guns because they knew that if they mom or dad caught wind of them with gun, even touching a gun, that ass was on fire. See, we got to get back to setting that ass on fire. It don't kill the kid. It make the kid better. It makes him a better thinker because he will think before he does foolishness. And this is why we can't continue to let them separate us and keep us divided by young and old. Because I hear a lot of young people, all these old folks, they don't know what's happening. Yeah, we know what's happening. We trying to show y'all what's happening. But like I say, society has made it as such to where our youth, our young people don't even listen to the older generations, let alone show them the respect that they deserve. Because I have walked up on groups of young men cussing like sailors, and see, like when I was coming up, yeah, we get around our little friends and we might say a cuss word or two, but if we saw an elderly person, you know, one of our elders around, oh, we shut that out. You got to shut that down because if they hear you cussing, it'll beat you home. And then when you get home, your mama gonna ask you, you out there, what you out there talking about? Play dumb, try to lie, because she already know. She asking you to see what you gonna say, and then she's asking you to see if you gonna tell the truth. So that would equate to whether you got an ass whooping or not. See, and that's what needs to come back in effect. And that's why I say we need to get back to our culture, our way of doing things. Even though it may not have prospered us the way we wanted it to, when we were working together, we were more prosperous mentally and spiritually. And that's what counts. That's what richness is. Your mental capacity, your spiritual capacity, not no money. Not no money. Money does not equate that. And that leads me to my last topic, the rich versus the poor, which this system uses and has been using, the classism system, not just racism, but the classism system as well. And this is a short one. This is real simple because, like I just said, our richness, our wealth comes from our ability to work, build, and grow together. Comes from our intellect and our spiritual prowess, because that's what has always been our source of strength. Our intellect, our spiritual prowess has always provided for us. America ain't never provided nothing for us. America has made a lot of broken promises, but has never lived up to what it says it was and what it will do for us, and works even harder today to not do for us. This is a country that has never satisfied its debt with us, Black America, but always can manage to find the money to help Ukrainians, Palestinians. And right now, see, this is what should upset us. This is what should bring us together. Because right now in this country, you got Ain't Shit Joe and Enhiden Harris actively giving money. Matter of fact, I believe Biden is supposed to be meeting with the president of Ukraine today to talk about giving them more money. Like 70 something billion dollars that they've given them is not enough. Not only the monetary uh, 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 the money that they've given them, the land, not only the land, but Google it. Ukrainians have been over here and been able to apply for SSI benefits. I know people that fought for years. I mean, for years to get their benefits started. And then you have an administration that will allow outsiders to come in and receive better treatment than we. Right now, in most of these major cities, in Chicago to be exact, I was reading where they have emptied out apartment buildings where outsiders can move in. And then they provide the housing, they pay for that. These refugees that are coming across. And then I'm going to put something else on your mind. Why is it that this country will allow the Hispanic population to come in, but the Haitians were trying to come in and cross the border too? I live here in Texas, so I remember seeing this on the news. Why were the Haitians turned away? See, the Haitians look like you and I. These Hispanics want to be down with them because they the power structure. And that's why they allow Hispanics to come into this country in flux. No other reason. To strengthen their numbers. Because they know the Hispanic population that they're allowing in is ready to be down with the white system. Period. The Ukrainians, they have a great disdain for black people. I don't know if many of you remember, but when this war first started, there were black people that were trying to get on those trains to exit Ukraine that were getting kicked off and replaced with Ukrainians. And they were telling I saw a couple of interviews where the black students, African students that were over in Ukraine were being told to walk, but were not being allowed on those trains to get out of Ukraine. It's all about money. Money equates to power, and money does not equate your power. Your intellect is what equates your power. I get sick of people who out here chasing money because the money is nothing more than a tool of the devil. Period. Point blank. So these are the things that we've got to work on. You know, we, like I say, don't have any allies. We divide ourselves, and it needs to stop. We are the strongest, most intellectual, most superior people on this planet. I've said this thousands of times, not ashamed to say it because I don't tell no lies. Look throughout history. Who has been the target of extinction since day one? And we still here. And that's why I say those of us who look like me, our ancestors were the thinkers. Our ancestors were the fighters. Our ancestors were the resilient ones because we made it here. This day. Think about that. Think about what we could accomplish by coming together. Think about what we can accomplish by working together. Think about what we can accomplish by building together. Think about what our children can accomplish if they see us doing it. Think about where they will take it because we got a weaker, much wiser generation behind us. We got to give them the strength. Strength ain't money. Strength is your intellect. Strength is your spirituality. Where's your heart at? Where's your mind at? And we got to get kids back to being thinkers, not doers. thinkers and doing things the right way, not following, not following, excuse me, and going along to get along. That has gotten us nowhere and will get us nowhere. So just think about these things I said. We got to stop. We got to stop battling and fighting amongst each other. The infighting has to end in order for us to prevail. That's really all I got. That's all I got. And like I said, I'm here to make you think. I'm here to try to wake up your spirit. Get us back on track. Get us back where we're supposed to be. Taking a lesson from the pages of the ancestors and putting them back to work. Today, we really don't have any more time to waste. And we out here wasting time. And time don't wait on nobody. You, me, nobody. You can have all the money in the world, time still not gonna wait. You can't slow time down with a pocket full of money. That's why I say money is invalid. It's about right here, right here. All right, I'm gonna close it out. I appreciate y'all for watching, listening. Like I said, if you're liking the content, give me the thumbs up, y'all. Let's get on the same page. Let's figure out how we can come up and not be relying on this system. Like I always say in closing, let's plan, organize, and unify. We all got a key right here, right here. Love y'all. I'm out. Peace, power, love.